Hey guys, Bo Harrison here, Cranky Canine. So we're talking, how do I use food in the dog training? Okay, so what do I mean by use the food? Well, right out of the gate, the best way to do it is existential feeding. So you feed the dog twice a day, all right? 2 meals a day of kibble. Some people say, well, we put wet dog food on the kibble. That's okay, we can use that too, all right? So right out of the gate, I'm gonna take all the kibble, I'm gonna put it in a pouch instead of feeding out of a bowl, and I'm gonna work the dog through the day with the obedience by using its kibble. Instead of putting it into a bowl, I'm gonna put it into my pouch, okay? Somebody says, yeah, but we do wet food too. Sweet, let's keep the wet food in your bowl and let's hand that out twice a day, just like you did. But maybe we ring the doorbell before we hand out that bowl of wet food, so that the doorbell doesn't equal guard dog, the doorbell equals awesome wet food time, okay? So you can still use your wet food or your honest kitchen that you're adding water to, or your raw diet that you're doing. You can still put that in a bowl, but when you put that in a bowl, gain some kind of behavior for that bowl of food, all right? And like I said, I specifically love this doorbell trick with the bowls of food. But all that kibble, yeah, it's gonna go in my pouch and I'm gonna work the dog with that kibble throughout the day. Now I still use high value reward, all right? I use high value reward most of the time when I'm trying to accomplish real life goals. So if I'm doing recalls away from a squirrel, we're gonna have cheeseburgers as the reward. If I'm doing any kind of work, with a scenario that like really taxes my relationship, dog barking out the window, driving me nuts. Well, if I really want that to be fixed, I might use a higher value reward. Let's say the dog isn't love the kennel. He's got a lot of fear around the kennel. Well, that's another case where high value reward could be a good idea. We might throw a bunch of cheese or hot dogs in the back of that kennel, something to entice him up a little bit better. Now here in our board and train program, okay, when people bring the dogs to us to train, we won't do existential feeding. And it kind of kills me, because if it was my own pet, that's the way I'd be doing it. But it's your pet, and sometimes board and train can be stressful. Sometimes the dogs eat a lot less. And so what I do is spoil them with high value food in the training process. And we give them a bowl every single night, because the last thing that we want is the dog losing any weight, refusing to eat because he's too stressed while he's here. So we won't do any existential feeding while they're here. What else do you guys need to know about food? Basically, the whole thing with food is 2 things, okay? Make it difficult to get their food, all right? Gain a behavior for every calorie. So when I say make it difficult to get their food, let's say that we're busy. I don't have time to train the dog today, okay? But I can still make the dog work for this food. I can take all that kibble, throw it out in the lawn, scatter it, and then he's got to use his nose to sniff out every single piece. I can put it in a swimming pool full of plastic bottles, and he's got to search around in there in order to find each little piece, okay? We can do box feeding, all right? Box feeding, I believe we have a video on it somewhere in here that you can dive in and do box feeding. It's a lovely, lovely exercise that can really build the dog's confidence levels. But make it difficult to get the food. Never just hand out a bowl of food just because it's dinner time, okay? Even if you're super busy and you don't have time to really do these things, you can at the bare minimum hand out a bowl of food and ring the doorbell to give the doorbell a new meaning. Doorbell now equals meal instead of doorbell equal guard dog. So you can always get some kind of value out of the food that you're delivering. And that's what this video is here to teach you, is how to get the best value out of the food.